What's up? This is the BBN, Jack Frost speaking. Right now I'm bringing you the Hardwood Finals Edition. I haven't been doing a lot on the NBA because the way that the season and the way that the season in general has been playing out, you could tell what's gonna happen. It's just too, I'm not gonna say too scripted, but I'm gonna say just too obvious. There, there, there was no thrill, and at least not in my regard. I didn't think there was any thrill, so therefore I haven't really been covering it. But I'm gonna explain to you why I really, really am pissed off at all the fake NBA fans. All the fake NBA fans. When I say fake NBA fans, I mean fake basketball fans. I mean the people that act like they know what they're talking about, but they don't have the slightest idea what they're talking about, and they just talk, 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 talk. This is why I'm pissed off at them. I keep hearing all of this mess about how Carmelo Anthony is a ball stopper, about how he only plays one-on-one basketball, this and this and that, that and that and this, right? What do you think the freaking Cleveland Cavaliers are doing? They're playing isolation basketball on almost every possession. Now, them playing the way that they've been playing got them to the finals. They're not going to beat the Golden State Warriors for obvious reasons because Golden State plays team basketball. They bring the ball down, they move the ball, and moving the ball moves the defense. And then after they move the ball a couple of times and get the defense in the position in which they would like to execute whatever their offensive strategy is, or they move the ball a couple of times and get the mismatch that they would like to exploit, then they attack. This is what the Golden State Warriors do. See, the difference between the Golden State Warriors and most of these other teams is the Golden State Warriors can attack from all five positions at any given time. Especially, depending on who they have on the court, obviously, because when you got freaking Jaja Pachulia on the court and he catches the ball 15 feet away from the rim, that's not actually a win. But when you have other people on the court and you could score from at least four positions, then moving the ball three or four times is good. It's just a good look. It's going to get you in a position to be able to be successful. And that's all you can ever really ask for. Now, the reason in which why I'm really pissed off at these fans is Carmelo Anthony's a ball stopper. Carmelo Anthony is ISO man. He's always isolating, always isolating. What do you think Kyrie Irving does? Kyrie Irving doesn't even get assists. He's a point guard. Kyrie Irving isolates and attacks. I'm not knocking Kyrie for doing it. He's good at it. He should continue to do that. But I'm saying that's what he does. He isolates and attacks. What does LeBron James does? He isolates, drives to the rack, waits for the double team, kicks it. He drives to the rack. He doesn't have anybody to kick it to, or this is just one of those times he's not gonna kick it, tries to get the foul. Both of them do the exact same thing that Carmelo Anthony does. But Carmelo Anthony gets shit for it. This is what I mean. I mean, some of y'all guys, y'all really don't know sports. All y'all know is whatever the narrative that whatever social media outlet or regular media outlet or that's all y'all know is the narratives that it's like y'all don't watch the games. Now I'm gonna tell you real quick, just real quick thing on the Knicks, everybody. Because everybody talk about how terrible the Knicks are. The Knicks are not terrible. They have two issues. A lack of playing defense is one. That's one issue. And the second issue is they get the worst calls. Literally. Watch a Knicks game. They get the worst calls. Anytime that the refs aren't calling bad calls against the Knicks, they're usually winning. Facts. I'm telling you right now, I watched damn near every single game up until it was like 60 games into the season. That's when I was like, okay, I've had enough. Because it's not that I've had enough of my Knicks. I love my Knicks. I've had enough of the NBA and their damn refs. It's retarded. Now, finals, game 3. If you watch the game, I don't know how many of y'all actually watch the game. I think some of y'all I think a lot of y'all don't watch the game. Not the my subscribers. I'm just saying, just people who claim to be NBA fans in general. I think a lot of them just don't watch the games. I think they see the game. I think the game is on the TV. Their eyes are focused in the direction of the game, but they have no idea what they're looking at. So they're seeing it, but they're not really, they don't know what they're seeing. Okay, so in the game yesterday, they had a long stretch where Cleveland didn't play ISO ball. They came down, they caught K Love, on a couple of quick catch and shoot opportunities. He was killing his man. They were catching mismatches. He was just freaking the Golden State Warriors. That's how you beat them. One, you have to slow the game down because you can't let them run. Two, you have to attack them from in the paint. Because, I mean, why do you think they got JaVale McGee? They really don't have any paint protection. How did the Cleveland Cavaliers win last year? Bogut got hurt. That was their paint protection. They came down. They were throwing the ball to K Love. He was turning and shooting. Not even dribbling. Turning and shooting. Knocking it down. Killing. What do? I think there was like a timeout or some shit. And then what do? That's it for K Love. We're not going to him again. It's time for other people to shine. This is what I mean. This is that 2K, NBA 2K mentality. You playing, you got 5 guys, y'all all playing team up or freaking my player or pro-am or whatever the fuck you playing. And y'all playing, and what happens is you got a guy hot, y'all going to him, he's killing, and then all of a sudden, because the point guard says, oh man, that guy, he done shot 10 shots and it's the second quarter, I'm going to start throwing it to somebody else. And instead of going to the hot man and pulling away, you start going to people who's been missing all game. So now you got a guy shooting 1 for 7, another guy shooting 2 for 6, another guy shooting 1 for 8, and your other guy, he's shooting 9 for 10, but you're not passing him the ball no more because, he made 9 shots. And we got to make sure everybody shoots the same amount of shots. This is that mentality. These guys are retarded, and it makes no sense. So what happens is K-Love come down. I can't remember if it's the second or the third quarter. But in the second or the third quarter, K-Love was killing. It could have been the third quarter when they started making a comeback, but I think it was the second quarter. K-Love was killing his man. What do? Decide not to go to him no more. So what do? He go to the boards and grabs a ton of rebounds. First of all, they're just using him wrong. If I was Love, I understand that, I understand his position. He couldn't even make the playoffs before he got to Cleveland. So I understand his position. But if I was Love, I'd be sincerely thinking about getting out of there and going somewhere where, you're not helping somebody else with their legacy, but you're helping your career also. Because they got him looking like a bum. They got him looking like a guy that can only grab rebounds. Because when he gets hot, they go away from him instead of going to him. Realistically, as overpowered as Golden State is, and I'll let everybody know, and I've been saying it for the longest, Golden State is just overpowered. And this don't make no sense, and it ain't fair. But this is the world in which they created in the NBA when LeBron James went to the Miami Heat because he couldn't beat the Boston Celtics in the lineup that they had. He created this. He created this world because people didn't do that, because people were scared to do things like that. That's why it was such a big deal. You think that if he was going to realistically stay in Cleveland, you think that whole freaking the decision show and talking about the whole entire summer, you think any of that would have been relevant? They wouldn't even have did that show if he was going to stay in Cleveland. It wouldn't have made any sense. It would have been anticlimactic. ESPN knew he wasn't going to stay in Cleveland. The powers that be knew he wasn't going to stay in Cleveland. It would have been anticlimactic. They couldn't have did that. It would have been bad TV. So they knew he wasn't going to stay in Cleveland, and they knew he was going to move. And they made a big spectacle out of it to make sure that it was a highlight. It's something that we all remember. So now you got players jumping ship. You got players leaving teams. They about to change the collective bargaining agreement again to make it even more. And it's not even up to be changed. This is just some new shit that they're just throwing in there. Because they're trying to keep teams, they're trying to keep the star teams on their team. So they have a new collective bargaining agreement thing that they're about to do. And I think they already just did one, and they're thinking about doing another one. It's not that they don't want super teams. The NBA loves super teams. But when you take all of the good players off of one team and make them absolutely irrelevant, that doesn't help the league. Imagine if Paul George, which most likely he's gonna, leaves Indiana. Imagine Paul George leaves Indiana. That's it for them. It's the same thing if Carmelo Anthony leaves the Knicks. That's it for them. Matter of fact, it's worse for the Knicks if Carmelo Anthony leave than Indiana if Paul George leave, because then Indiana just don't have anything, and it's understandable that they losing. Carmelo Anthony leave the Knicks, that means everybody's doubling, tripling Kristaps, and that's gonna stunt his growth. So instead of being the player that he could possibly grow into, now he's going to be playing under such duress, and it's going to be a lot of y'all that's never played sports. Y'all might not notice, but it's mentally draining to go into every game knowing that you're going to get a double and triple team because you don't have anybody else on your team that can help out to the degree to prevent it. That's draining. Mentally, I'm not even talking about the physical aspects of the banging at this point. I'm talking about just the mental aspect. A lot of y'all go to the park and y'all play and y'all think it's the same. It's not. You know what y'all need to do? Some of y'all need to find out where the real ballers in your town is, or the real ballers in your cities at. The real ballers. I'm not talking about the exceptional street ball guys. I'm not talking about the and one dope street ball and one guys that could do all of the freaking fancy dribbling and the behind the back passes and all of the reverse layups. I'm not talking about those guys. I'm talking about find out where your resident in town or in city college basketball players play. D1 guys play. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about find out where they play in the off season. Because I'm letting you know, like if they all in one city, there's about a week or two where they're probably not doing nothing and they all home and they linking up. I grew up with quite a few D1 players, and I'm telling you, there's about a week or two where they all gonna link up and go to some gym somewhere. Most likely a gym. It's not gonna be a park that much. Only way it's gonna be a park like is if it's like the Rucker. That's why they down there, because they helping their brand. But it's gonna most likely be a gym somewhere, and they all gonna go at whatever time, and they're gonna go hang out. And it's gonna be at least, depending on how big your city is and how whatever it is. I live in New York, so I grew up with about 8 or 9 college players, and a couple of them was D1, a lot of them was D2. But I'm telling you right now, it's just different basketball. It's different. The floor spacing is different. The cuts are different. The screens are different. The way people are coming off of the screens, it's different. A lot of y'all dudes that just hang out at the park, there's nothing wrong with that. I hang out at the park a lot in my life. There's nothing wrong with that. But when I try to explain to some dudes, you really don't understand what's going on. And I'm trying to explain it. It's because I'm saying it from, okay, my uncle used to coach. If y'all anybody ever know Malik Sealy, I have part of my cousin. My cousin used to coach Malik Sealy, Jackie knows, in the YMCA on Webster Avenue in the Bronx. The YMCA over there on 183rd. Okay? So when I tell you that the way that these guys are seeing basketball is wrong. I've been around basketball for a decent amount of time in my life. I'm telling you, like off the rip, when you take an extremely good player off of a team and make it so that the next best player now is going to get double and triple teamed, there's a problem. You want to know why? And I say all of this to say the reason in which why, if you come down and you do and they keep playing the way that they was playing when Love just makes a quick cut to the basket or a quick cut wherever he's gonna go, and then they throw him the ball and he turn to shoot, he's gonna always be open, is because his man is a big slow guy. So if he could catch the ball, create a little bit of space, he's gonna have the opportunity to put the shot up every damn time. Why? He got Kyrie Irving and LeBron James on the floor at the same time with him. He's going to catch and shoot and be able to kill every time. But when is the only time that he gets a chance to show off his skill? When they're not on the floor with him. But they're going to usually be on the floor with him because he's the guy that they got to throw the ball to when they get wide, when they draw the double team. So he got to go stand in the corner somewhere. That's his job, stand in the corner. He's not a two guard. He's not a small forward. He's a power forward that's supposed to be rebounding, but his job is to stand in the corner at the three. They had a possession the other day. Dude grabbed like 4 rebounds in the one possession, and 2 of the rebounds he got fouls off of. It's retarded. But they're just using him wrong. You know what it is? I'm gonna basically Cleveland. The biggest issue Cleveland have is their best asset is just so selfish. LeBron James cares about his stats. LeBron James cares about his stats. He doesn't want to play any type of basketball that isn't going to allow for him to get numbers that at the end of the game you can say, well, it ain't his fault. But like I said, some people are only seeing the game. They're not watching it. They're not paying attention. They're not actively participating. And there's tons of times during the course of Game 3 where if LeBron James was just not LeBron James, different things would have happened that would have allowed for the Cavaliers to be more successful. Hell, they went into the fourth quarter up. That's why I think the third quarter was the quarter that they was, the third or the second quarter was the quarter that they was just letting. No, the third quarter was Kyrie. Kyrie was murdering in the third quarter. He was freaking unstoppable. But the second quarter was Love. Love was killing them in the second quarter. Then the third quarter they go to Kyrie because it's I'm going to take this time. You're going to take that time. Freaking the Golden State Warriors don't play like that. The Golden State Warriors play like this. We're going to go down. We're going to move the rock a couple of times. We're going to see who gets the opportunity. That's it. We're going to go down. We're going to run this play quick. If that play don't work, we're going to run the next play quick. If that play don't work, we're going to run the next play quick. That's it. That's what these guys do. Anyway, I don't want to stay on this topic because I understand that a lot of people, they're big LeBron fans. There's nothing wrong with being a LeBron fan. I ain't knocking you. I grew up liking first, Isaiah Thomas was my favorite basketball player. And then after he left out the league, it was Grant Hill. That was I like Dominique Wilkins also because, but that was because he was, dunking it on everybody. It was like, oh man, this guy's a beast. And I really hated Jordan. But as far as the people who I watched and tried to take skills from or tried to emulate, more than anyone, it was Isaiah Thomas and Grant Hill. And I'm not going to lie, everybody did Mike shit. It's just you did. I don't care what you thought about him. He had the best moves. But I wasn't jumping out of the roof and dunking. I mean, I could dunk it like in junior high school. Don't get me wrong. But Isaiah Thomas, Grant Hill, high IQ basketball players. Anyway, that's all I got for you. And I'm out. If you like this video, please hit the like and subscribe button. If you would like to help dictate the direction that this channel takes, please leave a comment. All comments are appreciated, whether positive or negative. Thank you very much and enjoy your day. And remember, positive thoughts cause for positive things to happen. Let's get it.